You know, so many of us worry about our brains as we get older, especially about things like dementia. But what if I told you that you have way more control over your long-term brain health than you ever imagined? Let's dive into the science that could genuinely change your future.
It's a scary thought, isn't it? Maybe you've seen a parent or a grandparent go through it, and you just can't help but wonder, am I next? Is this just written in my DNA? Is this deep fear that our fate is sealed and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it?
Well, get ready for some good news, and I mean some seriously incredible news. According to top neuroscientists, up to 90% of Alzheimer's cases are not inevitable. Nope, they are potentially preventable, all through the lifestyle choices we make every single day. That number is huge. It completely flips the script on what we thought was our destiny.
So, in this big battle of genes versus lifestyle, where does the science actually land? Well, it turns out the evidence points to a very clear winner.
Okay, so look at these numbers because they are just staggering. Only about 3% of Alzheimer's cases are caused by what scientists call deterministic genes. These are the ones that basically make the disease a certainty. But the other 97%? Wow. I mean, sure, genetics might nudge you in one direction, but the actual outcome is overwhelmingly shaped by our lifestyle and our environment.
The neurologist Dr. N.E.U.R.O really puts it perfectly. He says your genes aren't your destiny. They're more like a conversation you're having with your world. This means your daily actions, what you're eating, how you're moving, how you live, that's what's really driving the outcome.
So you might be wondering, how can lifestyle have such a massive impact? Well, it all comes down to something called the heart-brain axis. Now think about this. Your brain is only about 2% of your body's weight, but it hogs a whopping 25% of its blood and oxygen. It has over 400 miles of blood vessels. It is the most vascular organ in our entire body. The takeaway here is so simple. What's good for your heart is absolutely critical for your brain.
So this connection is incredibly powerful. But to make it something we can actually use, neurologists have come up with a really simple and memorable framework to guide us.
And here it is. It's an acronym called N.E.U.R.O, developed by the neurologists Drs. Dean and Ayesha Sirzai. And it's not just catchy. This is a powerful, evidence-based plan designed to protect and even grow your brain.
So, the 5 pillars are pretty straightforward. N is for nutrition, E is for exercise, U is for unwind from stress, R is for restorative sleep, and O is for optimizing your brain activity. Each one of these plays a really distinct and vital role in building a strong, resilient brain. Okay, so let's actually put this neuro plan to work. What do these 5 pillars actually look like in your daily life?
Let's kick things off with N for nutrition, and get this. In a major study from Rush University, people who closely followed what's called the MIND diet slashed their risk of developing Alzheimer's by a phenomenal 53%. And even just kind of following it cut the risk by 37%. That's incredible.
So what does a brain-healthy diet look like? Well, it's not about one magic superfood. It's about a pattern. It's a diet that's packed with plant-based foods, especially berries, whole grains, and those healthy omega-3 fats, while being really low in processed junk and harmful saturated fats. Basically, it's the diet that cools down inflammation and gives your brain exactly what it needs to thrive.
All right, next up is E for exercise. And here's a phrase I bet you weren't expecting to hear today. Bigger legs, bigger brain. I know it sounds a little strange, but the connection here is unbelievably powerful.
So here's what happens. When you exercise, especially when you do strength training for your legs, you release this hormone called BDNF. The best way to think about it is like fertilizer for your brain. It literally helps grow new brain cells and new connections. In fact, one study found that just focusing on leg exercises alone reduced the progression to dementia by over 35%.
Okay, let's talk about U for unwind. Here's the thing, not all stress is bad. Good stress, like, tackling a new project at work or learning a new skill, that actually builds anticipation and grows the brain. The real danger is that chronic, purposeless stress. That's the stuff that floods your body with cortisol, a hormone that literally shrinks your hippocampus, which is your brain's memory center.
Now for R, restorative sleep. And listen, while you're asleep, your brain isn't just off. It is hard at work. Think of it like a nightly cleaning crew that comes in to wash away all the toxic waste proteins that build up while you're awake during the day.
And for this amazing cleaning system to work right, you have to hit that sweet spot. 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night. That's what allows your brain to go through its full cleaning cycle and lock in your memories. It's the only cleanse your body truly needs.
And finally, we have O for optimize. This is all about challenging your brain, but it's not just about doing crossword puzzles. The absolute best activities are the complex ones that use multiple parts of your brain all at once. Think about learning an instrument, or a new language, or even dancing. There was a famous study of London taxi drivers that showed they literally grew bigger memory centers just from the complex task of memorizing all of the city's chaotic streets.
So, when you take all these neuro habits together, you're doing more than just protecting yourself day to day. You are making long-term investments in your brain's future. You're building this powerful buffer against decline.
Scientists actually have a name for this. It's called cognitive reserve. And the best way to think about it is like a bank account for your brain. Every time you learn something new, eat a healthy meal, or get a good night's sleep, you're making a deposit. The higher your reserve, the more damage your brain can handle before it ever starts to show symptoms.
And this, right here, is maybe the most empowering idea of all. Unlike your other organs, your brain has this incredible ability to grow and create new connections throughout your entire life. It is never, ever too late to start building a healthier, more resilient brain. So, that leaves us with one final, really crucial question. This isn't about doing everything perfectly all at once. It's just about starting. So, after everything we've talked about, what is the one thing you will do today to start building your cognitive reserve?